What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA
Wednesday, April 1st. These picks apply for the FanDuel simulated slates. And at the end of this video, I'll give you a few DraftKings picks for their simulated Showdown slates.
Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, real quick for those who don't know how these simulated slates work on FanDuel, everything works the same. You build a full lineup using the players available in the slate. The only difference is the fantasy points each player scores is a fantasy score from any game that player has played so far this year. Only players with at least 15 games played are in the player pool. Pretty simple, they just take a score at random from previous games that player has played, and that's it. So knowing how that works, we've added some tools to Draft Dashboard so you can see all the possible outcomes of scores from each player, and we show the percent chance that the player has to score in each point range. So pretty handy, you can hover over the Sim Scores button and see right here exactly what scores this player can get for this contest. It will be one of these at random, and then you can see what percent chance they have to score in these point ranges. Okay, let's get into these picks. Okay, before we get started, I just wanted to remind you, we're posting a daily cheat sheet for esports for the League of Legends contests, and you can find that sport up at the top sports bar here. You just click this tab, tap this tab, the LOL tab. Lots of laughs in here. We're posting those cheat sheets every single day, so come on in and check those out. Okay, let's take a look at the point guard position. I like Malcolm Brogdon, projected at 32.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 6,300 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. He has a 13% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 21% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 60% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and a 6% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So that's a 66% chance to score 30 plus fantasy points and get you 5 times value or more. I love those odds, so I like Malcolm Brogdon here at 6,300 FanDuel salary. Another point guard that I like is Kemba Walker, projected at 35.7 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's 7,000 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. He has a 6% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less. He has a 30% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points. He has a 44% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. He has a 16% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and a 4% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So you're looking at a 50+% chance to get you 5 times value or more. So I like Kemba Walker here at 7,000 FanDuel salary. Okay, who do we have at the shooting guard position? I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Garrett Temple, projected at 21 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's 4,000 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 25% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 58% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, and a 16% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. So that's a 74% chance to get you 5 times value or more. So I like Garrett Temple here at only 4,000 FanDuel salary.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
And one of the shooting guard studs that I like here is Devin Booker, projected at 40 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's 7,800 FanDuel salary. Now let's take a look at his sim scores. Only a 2% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 24% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 43% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 27% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and a 5% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So that's a 32% chance for him to put up 45 plus fantasy points and get you around 5.5 times value or more. I like those odds, so I like Devin Booker here at 7,800 FanDuel salary. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Taurean Prince, projected at 23.8 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's 4,500 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 20% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 53% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points. That's your value zone. And then a 25% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. And he's got a 2% chance to crush value and score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So you're looking at a 27% chance for him to score 6 times value or more. And he's a pretty safe bet to hit value. So I like Taurean Prince here at 4,500 FanDuel salary. So now what I like about these tools here is both Taurean Prince and Tim Hardaway Jr. are 4,500 FanDuel salary. So you can just kind of hover over both of the sim scores here and compare the players. So you can see that they're pretty similar. It looks like Tim Hardaway Jr. may have a little bit more upside at the same price. So taking a look at this more, he's got a 29% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points and a 2% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So 4% more chance to score 30 fantasy points or more for the same price. So I also like Tim Hardaway Jr. here at 4,500 FanDuel salary. Okay, one of the mid-range small forwards that I like is Jalen Brown, projected at 33.3 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's 6,600 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. Only a 2% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 29% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 59% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and a 10% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So you're looking at a 69% chance to score 30 fantasy points or more and get you around 5 times value or more. So that's a safe bet. So I like Jalen Brown here at 6,600 FanDuel salary. And again, you can just compare the players in his salary range. These guys are about the same price. Kelly Oubre Jr. and Gordon Hayward. And just by hovering over these sim scores tab, you know exactly what you're going to get from these players.
Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard.
So look guys, I know there's not a lot of sports playing right now, but we are posting a daily cheat sheet for esports for the League of Legends contests, and we just added these new DFS tools for the NBA simulated slates. We're going to be updating our tools to help you pick the best players for these sim sports, and I think these tools are going to give you a big advantage. There's no human element here. This is a stats game. This is a math problem. This is where our tools can really help you identify the numbers, the percent chance these players are going to score within these point ranges, so you know what you're getting into with each pick. Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. I'm going to give you another value play here. I like Daniel Theis, projected at 24.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's 4,600 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 19% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less. A 53% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points. And a 28% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. So I like Daniel Theis here at 4,600 FanDuel salary. And one of the top plays at the power forward position, I like Bam Adebayo, projected at 41.2 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. He's 8,200 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. Just a 2% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less. A 17% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points. A 44% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. A 33% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. And a 5% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So a 38% chance to score 45 or more fantasy points and get you way over 5 times value. So I like Bam Adebayo here at 8,200 FanDuel salary. Okay, moving on to the center position. I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Aaron Baines, projected at 21.8 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 4,200 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 33% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less. A 48% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points. So that's your value zone. Then he's got a 14% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. A 2% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. And a 2% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So he's got some major upside here. So I like Aaron Baines here at 4,200 FanDuel salary. Okay, and the stud at center that I like is Nikola Jokic, projected at 45.2 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.8 times value. He's 9,500 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. Only a 2% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less. A 9% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points. A 45% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. A 30% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. And a 14% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So that's a 44% chance to get you about 5 times value or more. So I like Nikola Jokic here at 9,500 FanDuel salary. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick look at the DraftKings showdown between the New Orleans Pelicans and the LA Lakers. I like to start off by giving you the top value play on the slate so that you can jam those studs in there. So the top value play is Kenrich Williams, projected at 15.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 15.1 times value. He's only 1,000 DraftKings salary. Now let's take a look at his sim scores. A 54% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less. But remember, you'll take 15 fantasy points at 1,000 DraftKings salary. Then he has a 34% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points and an 11% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. So a 44% chance to score 15 to 45 fantasy points and absolutely crush value. So this is the guy to put in your lineup if you want to jam those studs in there. So I like Kenrich Williams here at only 1,000 DraftKings salary. Okay, I'm just going to give you 4 more plays that I like. I'm not going to go over all the stats here, but I like Derrick Favors, projected at 27.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.4 times value. He's 5,000 DraftKings salary. You can come in and take a look at his sim scores. He's got some major upside with a 37% chance to score 30 fantasy points or more and get you near 6 times value or more. So I like those odds. And then of course you got LeBron James, projected at 55.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.5 times value. He's pricey, 12,200 DraftKings salary, but that's because he has a 26% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. And then, of course, Anthony Davis, projected at 51.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.5 times value. He's a little cheaper, 11,400 DraftKings salary, and he has a 23% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. And another one of the top plays here, Drew Holiday, projected at 40.8 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.5 times value. He's 9,000 DraftKings salary, and he has a 22% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points and a 7% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So a 29% chance to get you 5 times value or more, and he's got that big upside. So those are the plays that I like here on DraftKings for this showdown. I really wish that they would add the full slate games. Somebody get on the phone and call them and say, hey, we want full slate games on DraftKings. What's the deal with these showdowns for simulated slates? It's not cool, guys.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck. Okay guys, if you're getting any value from this video, please hit that red subscribe button. We put out new fantasy basketball videos every single day. So if you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification, you won't miss out on any of our new fantasy basketball and fantasy football videos. Tons of free stuff coming your way. It only takes a second, and it helps us push out more fantasy content for you guys to consume each and every day. It's because of you subscribers that make this possible. So thank you for supporting this channel. This is a quick reminder, you should be reading the comments of this video. We have some savvy basketball fans who watch these videos, and they often give great plays and call me out when my picks are wrong. Wisdom of the crowd is a great way to get a feel for what players the field likes in today's NBA slate. We also have a DFS tool that shows you what players our members like for today's slate, so you can come on in and check that out.